seems like I've been away on this long vacation from this show, but folks, I am back. Rocky Red Panda's back. Here, still the host of This Week Live. Now, a few things you'll notice is, well, before we get there, let's just double check here. Yep. Joe Biden is still president, and the world is still going to shit. How about that, folks? But we do have a new intro, so you're going to be enjoying that. And some cool stuff, some cool formats, some new stuff coming to the show. Hey, we're going to call this a new season. Ta-da! Yes, I didn't know talk shows had seasons, but we're going to call this a new season of the This Week Live with Rocky Red Panda. It's going to be fun, so stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back. This week's The Good, The Bad, and The Interview with YouTube sensation Documentary Bros. This week live with your host Rocky Red Panda. And here he is, Rocky Red Panda. Welcome everyone, welcome to This Week Live. I am Rocky Red Panda. It seems like it's been ages since we last spoke. A little vacay is what I needed. Of course, social distancing and masking. If I didn't take that vacation, folks, I would have crashed and burned so bad this show would have gone to oblivion. But the mask wearing, social distancing, well, that's soon to change, folks, because recently the CDC issued new guidelines relaxing a lot of the COVID-19 restrictions, including full capacity restaurants, no social distancing, just like the Woodstock pandemic of 1969. Groovy, man. Groovy. But of course, as soon as the president and CDC make this announcement, guess what? It's Party City! Woo! Woo! Public mask celebrations and mask burnings. So many mask burnings. Just like this one in New York City. Check it out. There you go, burn it. It's burning now. There you go. Yes, masks don't burn well, now do they? Now hold on, just hold on. Don't go burning my body, my choice freedoms just yet. The CDC says you still need to wear a mask only if you haven't been vaccinated. That's right. So until at least 70% of American population gets vaccinated, do us a favor and wear your mask and get vaccinated. It's just that simple, folks. But there is good news. Half the adults are now fully vaccinated against COVID-19. So that leaves, to do my math right, 20% of Americans that need to be vaccinated in order for the no mask rule to take effect in all 50 states. That is amazing, folks. That is really amazing. You're talking 9 states that have more than 70% of their population with one dose. You know, it's the sexual tension between Pfizer and Moderna for me. Which do I get? Do you get whatever is available? And for me, that was Moderna. Months later, and guess what, folks? I feel fine. But I may have to get the vaccine shot later. But however, you're getting people like the girls like, oh my God, I'm not getting the vaccine. I don't know what's in it. But yet then, you turn around and you smoke a half pack of cigarettes. That's cancer, Karen. Those are cancer sticks. And you're going to get cancer. But more about CDC, COVID-19, and other news. Let's jump into this week's The Good, The Bad, and The And that's where we poke some harmless fun at some of this week's news. And yes, all politics are on the table. Don't need you anymore. So, so as Americans get vaccinated, 41% of Republicans are still refusing to get the COVID-19 shots. I mean, so what are states doing? They're getting creative. You know, get that little creative genius going. Like West Virginia Governor Jim Justice offered a $100 savings bond to each newly vaccinated person between the ages of 16 and 35. Or how about the Ohio Governor Mike DeWine, who set up a COVID-19 lottery where each week one vaccinated person could win $1 million in cash. Now, of course, everyone in the state is entered, so if your name is drawn and he asks you, have you been vaccinated? And you say, no, I have not been vaccinated. My body, my freedoms, my rights. Sorry, you don't get the $1 million in cash. Much like telling a Karen that you need to wear a mask. But it's my body, and you can't tell me what to do. I'm sorry, but it doesn't work that way. Guess what? Try again next time. But earlier this week, Pennsylvania state health officials announced that Pennsylvania's mask order will be completely lifted on June 28th, or possibly sooner if 70% of residents get their second dose of vaccine. So, I mean, that's great news. Maybe we'll see less of the Karens coming out to play. You know how we all love that. But, however, that doesn't affect businesses and counties in PA who will still be requiring that 70% are vaccinated before going 100% no masking. It's supposed to be, you know, on the honor system, much like saying to your mate, I am not addicted to drinking. I swear. I just like the taste of it. That's all. But seriously, come on, PA. Get your act together. You got this. I am rooting for you. Just don't blow it like the Penguins did the other night in the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs against the Islanders. Yeah. We don't talk about that. No one talks about that. No one. So, the GOP this week blocked a 1-6 panel which would set a joint commission on the January 6th insurrection. This would mean that we now need a commission to figure out why the Republicans blocked a January 6th commission and a May 28th commission. Joe Biden had this to say when he was out for some ice cream in Ohio.
Mr. President, what did you order?
Chocolate chip.
Oh, yeah. Mr. President, what is your message to Republicans who are prepared to block the January 6th commission?
Eat some chocolate chip.
Ice cream for everyone, and fudge for you voting for a filibuster. I hope that this will not be a chip off the old block and melt in your faces. But Biden did continue.
Compromise and common ground on that?
On a commission? I think it's... I can't imagine anyone voting against the establishment of a commission on the greatest assault since the Civil War on the Capitol. But at any rate, I came for ice cream.
Now, I applaud a man who loves his ice cream, though being lactose intolerant myself, that's what you call I'll love you regardless of the side effects. You get me. This comes after the mother of the slain officer Brian Sicknick spoke to GOP senators to support the January 6th commission, but changed very few minds. Chuck Schumer recently said earlier this week that they're going to still push forward with this commission, even with the filibuster, and it'll be still a joint and without Republican support. So we're just now waiting game. We're going to see what's happening. We're going to see what's going to happen. That was just horrible English. But, you know, as soon as we know something, you'll hear it here, folks. You'll hear it here. So with this Monday marking the end of May, since I was on a long vacation, May was AAPI Heritage Month. Yes, a long month dedicated to Asian Americans. But this year marks a lesser need for celebration, but more of a need to show the light that we, as Asian Americans, will not take it sitting down anymore. And it's time to rise up and speak out against racism in the Asian community. COVID hate crimes against Asian Americans are on the rise. Just last week, Joe Biden signed a law that would aim to address a rising number of anti-Asian attacks. Even though restrictions are loosening, the attacks on the Asians are not. Just that the COVID-19 pandemic didn't make things any better. I mean, my favorite Asian American, Andrew Yang, who is running for a New York City mayor, cites anti-Asian bias has crept into the campaign, or I should say his campaign. He has often spoke out enforcively against anti-Asian violence against many New York City residents, but, however, recently he appeared at a news conference to blast a cartoon that portrayed him as a tourist. His wife said, "It is not okay to use Andrew to make Asians the butt of racist jokes. A time when Asians are being randomly attacked on our streets just because of how they looked. Or how they look." I agree. I mean, hate crimes targeting Asian Americans are up a staggering 189% nationwide. One survey showed 1/3 of Asian adults feared someone might threaten or attack them. Hearing this, it's just scary. It's just scary. Just walking around is scary being Asian. I mean, it's not a normal world. The one person that I fear the most on a daily basis when he goes out is my dad. I mean, he is a tough cookie, as he grew up under Japanese occupation during World War II and the rise of communism in Taiwan under Kuomintang. But even so, he's in his 80s. And with the rise of hate out there, who knows what may or may not happen, even in the small town that I live in. On a previous show, I have mentioned my experience with Asian hate personally. Since then, I have experienced at least 4 different situations where I really didn't feel safe. Most were verbal harassments and just pure racism at best. No one should be called a chink when you are standing in line waiting to check out at a gas station convenience store. No one should be told to go back to China where you came from. I don't want to get your COVID. Don't bring over your flus to America. Down to the, "Are you Asian?" No, I'm American. But my dad's from Taiwan. Ching chang chong. Do you understand what that means? I've always wanted to know. Look, racism against Asian Americans is not okay. Just because we are different than you are, our skin color is different, we may speak a different language, doesn't mean we are all bad. I ask myself this question like I asked last time. What did I do to you to deserve this hate? What did we do to you to deserve this hate? My Asian community stands united against racism. Together, we can stop it. If you see something, say something. Make sure to report it to stopaapihate.org. The address is down below. Again, that's stopaapihate.org. But we do have a great show for you this week. My guests this week are documentary group from YouTube, the Documentary Bros, which we will sit down after this commercial break. Stay tuned, folks. Hey there, folks. This is Rocky Red Panda, your host of This Week Live, P&D Studios, and illustrator at Panda Numeric Designs. Are you looking to get official This Week Live, P&D Studio, and Panda Numeric Design merchandise? That's right. Go to my website at pandaanddesigns.com, click on the shop, which will take you to some sweet, sweet stuff via my online Etsy store. All right, you guys, and welcome back to This Week Live. And of course, this week we do have some guests on the show from YouTube, and they're called the Documentary Bros. They're actually local, so it's also cool to meet them. So go ahead and introduce yourself, guys.
Take it first, Aaron.
All right. Hello, my name is Aaron Harmon. I am the head of the documentary. Mitch, go ahead.
Yeah, I was the assistant director with him on Bobby's documentary, but I'm actually the director of War Series, the other channel we work on. And I obviously assist Aaron with his side gigs, his documentaries, the Philly Files, obviously our war documentaries he's made, and then Bobby's.
And that goes to Bobby.
My name is Bobby. I was the head director of the Bobby's Gettysburg documentary. I am also a part of the advertising team of War Series and also a actor.
Cool. I like hearing that. It's always good to meet some fellow videographers and people who act. So, Documentary Bros. I mean, how did this all start? I mean, where it had to start somewhere.
Well, I think, Bobby, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was in around August you came to me with the idea to do the Gettysburg documentary.
It was it was either August or October. I think you said it was October in the documentary.
Okay, then it was October. So yeah, it was around October. Bobby came to me. He was like, "Hey, I want to do this documentary." We held off for a little bit, and then I think in like January we started filming it. And Bobby, I guess that's up to you. Go ahead and just explain your thought process and stuff. Like, what inspired you to make the documentary?
The documentary was actually a little project I wanted to put on. I am a huge Civil War fanatic. Battle of Gettysburg is one of my best known areas. I actually thought of the idea off the movie, the 1993 movie of Gettysburg. I have a couple documentaries I have watched over the years. My grandfather actually was a Civil War fanatic too. So he was the one that actually got me started with the Civil War era, from the Sons of the Union veterans of the Civil War to the to going around the battlefield. He was the guy that if you asked what happened on July 1st, 1863, on this specific part of the field, he could tell you what regiments, what corps were involved, who were the commanders, who fired the first shot of that. He knew his knowledge.
Well, that's pretty cool. I like that. You know, someone that knows their knowledge, loves the history, because first thing you got to do is when you're a documentarist, the first thing you have to do is like Ken Burns, you have to know, you have to love, you have to have passion for what you're doing. Because if you have no passion, it's going to be a horrible documentary. But in your case, you know, I saw the film and I loved it. This documentary in its pure raw form. It's not like something you would see Ken Burns do with like pictures and it's like letters from home. Da 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 da. No, but I like that. I thought it was cool. So how long did it take to film and edit what we call Bobby's Gettysburg documentary? Because I've seen you started, it looked like you started last winter from what I saw with some of the footage, and then you kind of worked your way up to current.
Filming, I'd say probably about correct me if I'm wrong, Aaron and Mitch, but I believe it was about 3 months to take the filming stages, and then I think it was only about a month for the editing.
I would say so. Yeah, I did all the editing for it. Mitch helped out with the cinematography. He was there when I wasn't to film stuff. So, you know, we switched back and forth, but The editing did take, I would say, about a month. I did it piece by piece, like every film day I would edit it together, and then I'd put it in one big folder. Then I'd edit it all in one big bunch, and I exported the video. And I think we got it out around sometime in April. I don't remember the exact date, but we were able to get it out 4 months.
Yeah, it was probably around, I think it was either just a little bit before Easter, or it was right after Easter when we released it.
Yep.
Well, I absolutely loved it. I did see it, and I thought it was great. I was like, wait, I know these people. I just met them. This is like a great documentary. But you talked a little bit about history. You talked about ghosts and overall fun with friends. And I thought it was just unique, different take to your exploration of Gettysburg and what you can see, what you can do through the eyes of a bunch of people who just randomly come in Gettysburg and say, I'm filming a documentary.
And it was a big help when people were cooperating with me, not just the crew, but George, when he gave me or allowed us to film at the Jenny Wade house. People, I don't really want to say their names due to privacy information.
Correct.
From the National Park Service to the American Battlefield Trust to the Soldiers National Cemetery for the Gettysburg Address era. Like them a big special thanks for helping us out with this. I have yet to inform everybody else that the documentary has been done, which I do remind that it is not kid friendly. So
yes, there are warning labels.
That is always good to know.
Yes, especially with the language that I did use. I didn't want to use. I was hoping our editor could try to cut out as much as those words, and I realized he can only do so much, which I give a big thanks to Aaron Harmon, and a big thanks to Nick Erdman, Mitch, Sassani. Who else was there? The Moyas.
Seth Davis, you had Anthony and Charlie Moya.
Yes.
Oh, you're making this sound like an Oscar speech.
Wow.
I'm actually going to say, well, I thank God for being there for me as we filmed this film. Yeah.
And I know the Lord was with us every step of the way.
Correct.
From the Jenny Wade gravestone to the Jenny Wade house to the Soldiers National Cemetery to even giving us a huge, I think it was a 6,000 square mile battlefield.
One of the most preserved battlefields in America. Also,
another big thanks to the Gettysburg diorama right in Gettysburg, right off of, I believe it's Eisenhower or Steinway Avenue.
Correct. All right. Yes. So we're going to take a little short break, and then we'll be back with the Documentary Bros after this brief message. Stay tuned, folks. You are watching This Week Live with Rocky Red Panda, only on PNG Studios. Make sure to like and subscribe. All right, guys, and welcome back. And we're here with the Documentary Bros and their awesome film, their latest film, which is called Bobby's Documentary. But that's not where they first started. They actually started with a bunch of other ones. Their first documentary series was a series called A War Series. So let's kind of talk about that. You've always done documentaries. I've seen a lot of your films. So I'm guessing you have an interest in history and war and battles.
War series really ain't about historical areas.
Yeah, that's the big shocker.
Series,
yeah, it shocked me too.
This might be more Mitch's fiction. He's the
this would be my department. So if we want to go back in the history of how War Series started, it's a 2-season series on YouTube. It's just, you know, like a TV show you see, or like, you know, mini movies basically placed into 2 seasons. But it started all the way back in 2017. If you want to even go farther, there was an original on YouTube that is no longer available. You cannot watch it, from 2016 and onward. And that's a whole different story. If you watch the first documentary that Aaron made, it actually explains in depth of how every step went down. My brother was involved with that, obviously, and Nick, but unfortunately he's not here. He could explain a lot as well. But yeah, we started, and you know, it was just videos we made for fun because guys around the neighborhood, we just wanted to get out and make some videos. And then about episode 5, I actually started directing and, you know, making structure and formula, you know, planning every episode out, you know, trying to plan a plot together, not just like videos, you know, your kids trying to have fun. And yeah, so that was 4 years ago. And now, I guess I should go next to is the documentary, which would be Aaron's department, because he started that. He came to me 2019 and he said he wanted to make a documentary for us.
Holy cow! Yeah, the first War Series documentary I had started. Well, I joined War Series in 2018, I think. I was I was a viewer from the start. I watched the original series, and I wanted in. So, you know, I came up and they asked me to come in, so I did. And as I was there, I was like, this needs, like, all the behind the scenes stuff that we do. I thought it was worthy to put into a documentary form. Like, I thought this stuff needs to get out there. We need to tell our story. So that's what I did. I started around, I would say, early 2019. And I started filming just a bunch of random clips. I started putting them together. I was getting interviews down. And I was like, I'm shooting for an hour long. That's what I got to. And I think we released it when the virus shut us down. So I uploaded it.
Yeah, it's over a year old now. It's March 2020.
It doesn't seem like it's a year old. It's a nice little series, and I absolutely loved it. I thought it was unique. It was different. It didn't grow on me at first, but the more I watched it, the more it kind of was like, oh, I actually want to watch this again.
Yeah, we build on it. You know, every episode, I wanted it to just get better and better, and then as we got more actors and more people to come in on, and it just improve naturally.
That's
you
amazing.
know, and with our learning experience, we got that.
So you go. Go ahead.
Pardon?
Being on the crew only for about a year so far, almost a year, coming in June. I have learned so much from the guys. They've taught me everything to know about directing, about editing, about everything, the running of how we do stuff. My character in Mob, in the Men of Business series that we're getting ready to start, I played Antigua, which I forget, Mitch, is that a bad guy? I don't remember. No, it's been a while since we Mob.
It is complex because you can't just say good, bad. He is a member of the mob, Antigua. Yes, he debuted in season 2 of War.
That's kind of the nice thing too. You can pick your sides with the series. Like
it's really who do you want to root for the most? Because you look at them all, they all do bad things, but some of them, you know, they all have their own motives as well. I don't want to go too far in with all the details, but yeah.
Yeah, I completely understand. Because it's like me with working in the independent horror film industry. I can't divulge things because when you first sign up for this film, you have to sign a little piece of waiver saying you cannot talk, you cannot discuss about it until it is out. So, you know, but you can talk about promotions like the more like Mortician, but you can't really do much about anything else. So it's just I understand. So what you guys do is I love it. I mean, especially with the Philly Files. Now you talk about ranting Philly Fan 24. Now, where have I heard that one before? You know, because I used to live in Philly, so you know that kind of like I it's like wow, that brings back memories.
Well, Mitch, do you want to start with this?
All right, I'll talk about it because I am the diehard Philly fan here. Well, yes, every Philly team I'm a big fan of. The Sixers are on right now. I'm going to check in. Hopefully they win tonight, clinch the 1 seed. But yeah, so Mason King, one of my buddies, who is like involved with the interesting YouTube channels and the Eagles fan, even though he's a Steelers fan, because there's a lot of Philly guys that are really passionate and have YouTubes. So he found him, I don't even know how, just one day, and he comes up to me and he shows me this video. And this guy was what he is ranting. He was ranting for over an hour on live on YouTube. And I said, I want to look into this because, I mean, he's absolutely legendary. His videos were amazing. So I show Aaron and pretty much everyone in the group of War Series. And Aaron was so intrigued that he ended up wanting to make a documentary because there was so much footage of this guy just going off on people. And it is gruesome. It is a hard R rating. Like, don't let your kids watch it. But yeah, I mean, that's a whole story on its own. There is so much depth there, and it is really complicated right now because we don't even know what happened to the man. There's rumors that he is missing in action. We haven't seen him on YouTube recently. So yeah, we don't know details yet though.
Well, the way I saw that, and immediately my brain was like, I lived in Philly for 2.5 years, and I saw that. I was like, yeah, that is exactly what a Philadelphian is like, especially when it comes to sports teams. And I completely understand with them, because I was there when the Philadelphia Phillies won the World Series in 2008, and I was there with all the madness that was happening in the streets. They had the last out and boom, and everyone came out. They started pulling. At the time, I think it's Frida Kahlo. They had Exhibit the Art Museum. They started pulling those down from the lamppost. They climbed on top of the bus stops. They toppled cars over, set them on fire, set dumpsters on fire. And I was like, yeah, I know what Philly fans are like. And if you are not a Philly fan, you walk into a bar and you're wearing something else, they'll tell you to leave. We're not going to serve you here. Go elsewhere.
There's been, and yes, I agree at points. Yes, I see people who are. I was in Philly one time, and I will never forget the experience. It was a fun, enjoyable experience. But let me tell you, if you walk into a Phillies fan bar and you're wearing a Cowboys jersey, you might as well leave because a fight is about to start.
Let me put it this way. No one likes the Cowboys, period, no matter where you go. We don't like Cowboys. We'll just put it that way.
I don't like the Cowboys, but Bobby is a fan.
You're talking to a guy who's a Cowboys fan. I mean, I have my own man cave sign. I have my own jersey. My boys are. It's just like the War Series crew. If I would ever get the chance to coach the Cowboys, it would be a tough time. But I know who I'd call. Couple people who I'd call in a freaking heartbeat and say, hey, I'm gonna need some backup coaches. I'd call my buddies from War Series, Mitch and Aaron, and
But you have to wonder if they'd be interested in coaching though.
Coach the Cow.
I mean, I did take sports management, so yeah.
Yeah, and you got sports management, or Mitch.
I mean, hey, it's a dream. You can have a dream.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not that big. With the whole, I shouldn't really get into it right now, but the whole kneeling of the national anthem is I've slowly stopped watching.
Oh, come on! You gotta watch this. If you love the sport, you gotta watch.
Don't need to get into it.
I don't support them.
Hey, the Philly Files. Remember.
It's completely okay because, like I said, this is second half, so anything goes. I mean, we already talked about Philly Files. So it's all going around in full circle. We're talking the sports, and I completely agree about that. You know, you just can't stop watching something because I'm a diehard hockey fan. I have to watch my hockey, and I love my hockey, especially baseball. Well, I don't watch baseball as much as I watch hockey. I can just oh, they're winning. Okay, good. That's about it on my phone. Same with soccer, but I do watch soccer. So I have to watch that.
I'm not a fan on soccer. My team, my favorite baseball team. Yes, I do watch some hockey. The Hershey Bears are one of my favorites. I'm not a fan for the NHL. Favorite team is actually pretty local. I mean, I think think it's an hour and a half, 2 hour drive down to Camden Yards in Baltimore.
The O's.
Oh yeah. The
Yes.
O's.
Mhm.
Yep,
Every
exactly. Okay.
there are some college teams. My aunt and uncle are Penn State. I don't like Penn State very much. I am a I can't. I think I'm a Spartan. I like
Michigan State.
Yeah,
Michigan State.
I am a Michigan State fan, and
Okay.
there was a teacher who threatened to kick me. Well, two teachers. One of them being a Redskins fan. I'm not gonna say their name. We'll just call him Mr. C. He threatened to kick me out of class one day because I walked in after we beat the Redskins. I think it was like a 42-0 win for that game. I walked in all my Cowboys stuff, and I'm telling you, I had my jersey, I had my hat, I had my watch, I had you name it, I had it.
Oh, that's funny.
But then
All
my
right.
other teacher, she almost kicked me out because she found out that I'm a Michigan State fan and she is a Penn State person. I am not, like I said, I am not a Penn State person.
All right. Well, at least you have to at least like something Pennsylvania that's sports related, or don't you like anything Pennsylvania sports related? Well, besides the Hershey Bears, you do like the Hershey Bears. I forgot about that.
Hershey Bears are. I've been to a couple games of theirs. The one game I was in Cub Scouts. We used to go to their games all the time. Baseball wise, here in PA, other than the Orioles, I am a Harrisburg Senators fan. I went to their game before. That's a nice game to see. I didn't catch a foul or a home run ball, but I got my bat signed by the mascot.
Nice.
We did have when we went years back, a long time ago. I must have been like 9 or 10. We went to a Hershey Bears game, and in the midst, it was like, I think it was like a 3-2 score. Next thing you know, two players just went at it. They were fighting now, and I'm telling you, the whole crowd just roared. Like, they threw their gloves off. I feel bad for both of them because they ended up getting penalized for it. But it was a nice fight to see.
Beautiful. That's cool. All right. So I would like to thank the Documentary Bros. That was awesome little sports talk we had there. I told you it goes off today for appearing on This Week Live. So we're going to end your little interview before I close out this show. Since you were at the Jenny Wade, we'll go down one by one because you must have researched the history of the Jenny Wade story. So, what do you know about Jenny Wade?
Aaron, you want to start it? Because I'm going to go for a 15-minute list is what's going to happen.
Oh, my. I mean, for all I know that she was shot. I mean, in the midst of the war, I know she was a bystander. She was shot. And, I mean, that's my knowledge on it. Bobby's the real historian here,
Yeah.
My knowledge is filled with crazy Philly fan guys and war series and all this stuff. I mean, I dig history, but I don't catch on to a lot of the stuff.
Cool.
Trust me, if there was a way, I think we all would go up to Gettysburg every day.
I got a lot of stuff.
We're pretty tired of it real quick.
Well, actually, there's a lot to do in Gettysburg, so you could film many different documentaries in Gettysburg. Doesn't have to be history related.
Mitch, thanks, George, for the idea.
Mm-hmm.
Mitch, what did you know about the Jenny Wade place?
The Jenny Wade building? Well, from what you told me, I mean, obviously, a history class, surprisingly enough, they don't really touch up on that in American history. I took sophomore year. So basically, the info I got was from looking at quick research the day before online and what Bobby told me about Jenny Wade and how she was wounded, killed in the building.
No, she was, and George can back me up on this. She was actually not wounded. She was mortally wounded, which means that she was killed immediately.
Yes, instantly.
I forget if it was a Union mini ball. I believe it was a Union mini ball that went through that door on the side of the house that struck her while she was kneading dough for the bread. I was told that, and thanks to George for doing this and helping us out as much as he could.
I'm going to correct you real quick. It was a Confederate sharpshooter from the Farnsworth house. It was nothing to do with the Union. That's why you saw the face. I was like,
okay, so I was wrong with part of my information.
You're fine.
They took her down, and like I said, thank you, George, for helping us out in any way you could. They took her down to the basement after they told everybody in the house, her sister, I think it was her sister and her kids and their mother, I believe it. Correct me if I'm wrong, George. But
yep, you're correct. It was Jenny Wade was there, her sister Georgia, who gave birth her newborn baby, the younger brother, and then a neighbor boy they babysat. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, total of 6. I've been doing this for 4 years, so the memory's now ingrained here. You can't erase it now.
Yeah, exactly. You can. They went down to the basement. They actually had her laying under a cloth. I believe it was a cloth. That they were sitting in the same room as Jenny Wade, who was killed previously. Was under a blanket in the same room as they were. There is, and I believe there is. I mean, I pointed it out to George. I think he didn't know it was there. Maybe he did because he's worked there for 4 years. But if you look in that door in the top right corner, there is still part of a bullet. Am I wrong, George?
You're not wrong, because you don't know what you're going to find, at least on that side. Because that was the side that was heavily hit by Confederate fire, because the Confederates occupied Gettysburg, so they were shooting back towards the house. So you're not. It's not uncommon not to find a bullet. You're going to find something there.
Well,
so when someone points out, "Oh, I found there a bullet," I add that to my list of 2, 4, 6, and okay, another one found.
Question: why were they firing from? Why did the bullet at point? Why were they firing towards? I know the Union fish hook. I think it was July 3rd. It was the end of the Union fish hook. They were trying to, I can't think of his name. Aaron found something while we were there. It was pretty neat. It was still on the ground, so we really didn't take our steps out too far. I mean, I almost went through. Trying to pick a charge. I almost went down in water
yes, that's when the snow was on the ground. We were attempting to walk, but it was icy and snowy, so we had to halfway through it and just walk back.
Yeah,
I cigar, if that's what you're talking about.
Yes, that's the cigar.
Okay.
Yep.
I mean,
Interesting.
It's not very historic.
Well, it was sitting behind a monument, which kind of was creepy. Like
someone had to put it there.
Yeah, somebody, and it wasn't. It
just a mystery.
There you go, another documentary. Who smoked the cigar?
It gave us something to work with. It's now a prop for our war series. I don't.
His character, Mr. Philly. Yep, there it is.
Nice.
And my character, Mr. Philly, is based off of Ranting Philly fan, so that also comes full circle too. It's quite
cool.
Yeah.
And Aaron and Mitch brought up the idea later, and it's gonna have to wait down the road because I've got to pay them back for what they helped me with. Somebody gave me the idea of doing a kid-friendly version with no cussing and just I forget who it was, but somebody brought. I think it was Mitch, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mitch. yeah, I believe you told me that we should do another version of it just without, or just a kid friendly version.
No, that was your own idea. You came up with that idea because you wanted to show it to Mr. Ryder. You wanted it shown in a classroom environment.
Okay.
Therefore, you wanted a censored version. That was
Yes.
all your idea.
Well, if
Yeah,
you do
and
a
I-
censored version, just do the SpongeBob, the episode of is it sentence enhancers and dolphin noises to cover up all the words and like weird
yeah,
stuff, you know.
we're-
I was
yeah,
watching that episode.
yeah, because that's there. I'll admit I have so much stuff. I believe I have over 1,000 books just based on the war itself,
That's
not
amazing.
including 2 artifacts that I bought at a store. Which I don't know if this video will get taken down, but I can show you one of them. And I think this is a Union caliber, believe it's a 16 caliber bullet. Am I right, George?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. That was, and to the good folks of all the stores we stopped in, including the one, and I don't like to, I'm not a real big fan, and yes, I'm a big fan of starting politics, especially, but to the people that, to the woman that heard me rant about the whole election thing,
It's Frozen.
And not the movie Frozen.
I think he was going to apologize to her, but we may never know.
We may never know. We'll leave that for another time.
He might have cut out. I don't know. Maybe his Wi-Fi dropped out again.
Maybe.
Bummer.
But that's okay. So this is a good part. It's a good part to win. We'll leave that for like
I know it is.
sequel. All right, you guys. Well, it's been a pleasure having documentary Frozen.
Yep, it's been a pleasure, George.
It's been awesome. You know, one of these days we'll get together. We'll work on something because we all do something. So, you know, we'll
Yep.
what just happened?
He's
Back.
back.
What
All
just
right.
happened?
I don't know.
Disappeared.
It's a mystery.
cut out.
We'll never know.
It was an act of God. That's what it was.
Yeah, we'll go with that. But again, thank you guys for appearing on the show. You guys are amazing. You're awesome. You
Yes,
do
thank
good work.
you.
So I'm going to have all of their information located below. So definitely check them out. Subscribe to the YouTube. And there has some more awesome stuff coming up. So with that being said, this is Rocky signing out for this week live. And I'll catch you next week. Peace. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, like and subscribe. Not to my channel, but also to their channel as well. So
Yep.
now I can say, go ahead.
And a big like and subscribe to War Series as we are trying to make 1,000 subscribers. I'm doing my best to get the word out as much as I can.
All right, you guys, you heard it right there. So until next time, like and subscribe all of our channels. Till then, peace out.